Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. In today's video, we will do the questions of the poem from I explain a few things. Question number 1. Why does the poet use the title I explain a few things? The poet wants to explain why doesn't he compose romantic poems. He explains that he cannot do so because of the bloodshed, destruction, and devastation of Spain during the Civil War. His experience in Spain during the Civil War changed his life and consequently his poetry completely. Now he was much more concerned with social and political justice issues. I explained a few things, explains why his poetry has shifted. Question number 2. What are the memories that the poet talks about in the poem? The poet talks about the glorious past of Spain, which was symbolizing prosperity, beauty, and promising future. He talks about his house and about his bosom friends who got killed in the Civil War. Question number 3. What happened later and why? The Civil War broke in Spain and devastated every structure. Children were killed and the natural beauty trampled. They were the young ruffians, hooligans, and violent criminals who brought about this destruction. These people enjoyed the patronage of dukes and the blessings of monks. Question number 4. Why doesn't the poet write the poetry of sweet dreams? The poet doesn't write the poetry of sweet dreams because he finds the streets of his homeland bathed in blood, the blood of the innocent children, and pain's posterity is gushing from every outlet. Question number 5. Explain the lines My house was named the House of Flowers, Movement, Blood. In these lines, the poet says that his house was called the House of Flowers because it had geraniums everywhere in its courtyard. The house had beautiful balconies and would present a pleasing and attractive look. Question number 6. How has the Civil War affected Spain? The Civil War has destroyed Spain badly. The works of art, the beauties of nature, and public and private property, etc., have been devastated. Many noted poets have been brutally killed. The children have been assassinated, and their blood has been streamed on every street. Question number 7. Explain the journey of the poet from happiness to agony. The poet lived in a beautiful house in Madrid, the capital of Spain. His life was full of happiness. His house had so many geraniums in it that it came to be called the House of Flowers. The capital symbolized prosperity and beauty. Life here was very busy. The poet thus had a very happy time there. Later in 1936, the poet's life, which was full of happiness, journeyed towards agony when civil war broke out in Spain. There were terrible sights of fire, death, and destruction. The noted poets were assassinated. The poet's heart was filled with deep pain and shock. Due to agony, the poet could not write anything about his hometown. Now, questions related to literary devices. Question number one. Pick out at least two symbols used by the poet in the poem. What do they symbolize? In order to describe the activities of the bloody revolutionaries, the poet has used the symbols of jackals, stones, and vipers. He calls them jackals that the jackals would drive away. Then he calls them stones that the dry thistle would bite and spit out, and they were vipers that the vipers would hate. Question number 2 of literary device. Pick out the images used by the poet to describe peace and war in the poem. The images used by the poet to describe peace in the poem are flowers, church bells, trees, and the endless expanse of land with potatoes and tomatoes growing on it. The images of war used by the poet are bonfires leaping from the earth, devouring human beings, bandits, Moors, thugs, jackals, vipers, and the blood in the street. So, this was all about the poem from I Explain a Few Things. Thanks.